Yeah, coach, as disruptive and productive as Jonathan Marshall's been this year, is he to the point where he's going to get some pretty serious NFL looks?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've talked to several different guys about him. He's played his way into a draftable player, I believe, and you're not going to get a whole lot better kid than him if you take him on your football team. So, absolutely, he's had a really good year. I'm really proud for him, and I believe he'll get looks in the NFL.
Bob?
Hey, Sam, I guess we saw Davion obviously had to be helped off the field. Wondering what his status is. I know Hudson dressed out but didn't play. I think Fouché and Kern maybe went out late. Just wonder if you could give us an update on all those guys.
You guys act like I made better than an 18 on my ACT. You just threw four players at me, so I'm gonna ask you again who it was. But Davion Warren is out. He's got ACL and he's out for the season. I hate it for him, but he's got a good attitude about it, and I feel terrible that happened. Hudson Henry is. He will be back. He'll practice today. Hopefully, we'll see. How he's gonna react. But we hopefully will have him back by Saturday. Who else do you ask about?
Kern and Fouché look like maybe they got shook up late.
I think Kern will be fine, and Joe, I think Joe will be fine.
I'm impressed you remember what you scored on that test. I don't remember what I scored.
Well, if you made an 18, you would remember it.
Okay.
Nate?
Yeah, just what do you make of LSU, Sam, since they've been off and obviously not had the year they expected?
It's unfortunate for them because they haven't played in 21 days. It'll be 21 days since they were able to play, and I think they're a physical team. They're a young team. They lost a lot of great talent on that team, but obviously they've recruited exceptionally well there, and they have LSU written all over them. Big, physical. They're big on both sides of the ball. Very aggressive. They have the LSU wideouts. Of course, Reed Gilbert is a great young tight end. But on offense, they're a power football team, play action. Finley's done a nice job in there at quarterback for them, as well as Max Johnson. So offensively, they certainly have caused a lot of problems for us. Defensively, they're big. They're a little more simplified this year in what they're doing up front. Play a lot of four-man line. Really good in the back end, very physical in the back end. Obviously, Jacoby Stevens is one of the top corners in the country, or safeties in the country, and along with Stingley at corner and Harris at safety. So they're very talented and have a lot of team speed. Lost some guys at the linebacker spot that they're playing different guys in that area there, but big and physical on both sides of the line, and certainly have a lot of problems that we've got to try to fix before they get here on Saturday.
Hutch?
Yeah, Sam, I was going to ask you a couple updates on another couple of guys. Beau Limmer and Noah Gatlin, do you have any update on them, if they're going to be able to be back this week?
I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see on both those guys. I'll know a little bit more about it possibly on Wednesday, but we're hoping to get at least one of them, hopefully both, but at least one of them back.
Tom?
Hey, Sam, I got a couple things. First, how are you doing? And you on target for coming back on Wednesday?
I am. Thank you for asking. I feel really good, and I'll be back in the office on Wednesday, and I sure appreciate everybody. Old Daddy told me a long time ago, the world don't rotate around my butt, but it sure felt like it with all the well wishes and all those things, and I sure do appreciate it.
And I'm following up on a question last week about the composition of your coaching staff. And you've kind of talked in bits and pieces to us about them being like-minded, positive reinforcement type coaches. As you were putting it together, was that a big part of guys who thought the way you did to have on this staff?
I think it was a big part of guys who treat people like I do. You know, I mean, hopefully I'm treat folks the right way, and all those with ultimate respect. And I wanted guys around me that had that same mannerism about them, same respect for people. And that also that goes back to the players as well. And I think we did a good job. We really do. We have a great camaraderie in our building, and everybody wants everybody to have success. And it's a lot of fun going to work. And certainly I've been out now for 8 or 9 days, but it's a lot of fun going in the building and being around great men and women for that matter as well.
Nikki?
Coach, we've talked about Davion several times this season already, but what does losing him for the rest of the year mean to the team and for that room? Are there any guys that are maybe coming along and developing through this part of the season? And maybe Darren Turner, how's he look?
Yeah, you know, when you start asking that question, Darren was the first one that popped to my mind. You know, he's been in and out of some quarantines and some different things. It's probably hurt his development. But you know, we have, we have Trey Knox, and Trey will step in there along with Morris and those guys will do well. No doubt in my mind, but the young guys, certainly Darren would be the one that we would travel and move up into one of those 9 spots.
Trey Biddy?
Hey, Coach, I was glad to hear you're feeling better. I was curious, when you're watching the game at home, how do you watch it? Are you pacing? Are you sitting down? I guess you're in the pool house. And also, is there anything else that you have to do aside from just being 10 days out from your positive test?
No, I think that they'll probably test my heart like they do everybody else, you know, whenever they come back from COVID, to make sure that's fine. But, you know, watching the game was difficult, you know, because you're just not there. And for whatever reason, you feel like your presence would have, you know, something to do with the game and all that. I don't want to give myself that much credit, but I, you know, I just missed being around the guys and you know, when Barry, when they went for it on 4th and 1 there on about the 50, I'd have gone for it too, you know, even though it wasn't a successful play. And I thought the coaches did a really good job of keeping them and the players, but it was hard, you know. Like I say, Lucy don't say much, and she wasn't too much into the game, you know, so I had to kind of be by myself on that one.
Kyle?
Coach, you've been pretty open, I think, about, you know, what you've experienced over the last week in battling the virus. I wonder if you can expand, you know, kind of any more on what you faced. And are you still taking the vegetable mix, or what's working for you?
The vegetables are good. The walking's been good. You know, the bottom line for me, I was very fortunate because it was fatigue and pain in my back. You know, that was basically what my symptoms were. And then worked up north around my shoulders, but not for very long. But it was more the fatigue. I really never had any, you know, cold-like symptoms or anything of that nature. I was just tired, and it was hard to have these meetings and put on a face that, you know, I was tired. I was wore out, and sometimes it's that way from the season at this point in time of the season as well. But those were my symptoms, and you know, I thought about doing a daily deal, you know, to kind of let people know how ones that haven't had COVID, kind of how it attacks you. But then I thought again that everybody has certainly so much different symptoms in COVID that I didn't want to do that. And I didn't want to be disrespectful for folks that have, you know, obviously COVID has taken the loved one's life. So I tried to stay away from that as much as possible.
Dudley.
Hey, Coach, at the start of the year, you talked about wanting to get the football team bigger and stronger. Do you think this recruiting class has made some steps toward that? And also, as you finish out the class, I know you've talked about possible transfers as well. What are you looking, need-wise to finish it out with?
Dudley, I wish I could answer about the bigger, stronger, but heck, we ain't seen half of them. We don't know what half of them look like. We have an idea, but it's all on film. Certainly, we think we have, and we have to continue to get, obviously on the D line, we have to get bigger over there in the O line, and those are where teams that are so powerful that we're playing that, they're just big and physical on the O and D lines, as well as every other position. But those are the two positions that stick out. Obviously, there's a transfer world out there that, we would take an O and a D lineman, and we may even take, who knows where else, but a linebacker or some that depends on if we can talk some of these guys into staying or not. But we're going to save some, Dudley, for transfers for immediate need, because obviously everybody can see that the transfers that we took last year, most of those guys have really helped us this year. And, number one right off the top of my head is Felipe Franks, and he certainly has helped us. So, and along with other guys. So we're going to save some to have an opportunity to do that again.
Thanks, Coach. We're glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
All right, let me know if you've got more questions in the chat. Bob?
Sam, you seem like you know everybody. I was wondering if you know Ed Orgeron very well, and just what you think of Ed.
Well, I think a lot of him, with the success he's had. I don't know him well. We know fellow coaches that know each other and this, that, and the other. But I did tell Ed or Coach Orgeron that I believe that he gave us non-coordinators an opportunity, and I think it makes it easier for, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, for athletic directors to hire non-coordinators, non-head coaches. And I think he proved that it can be done, because he was a D-line coach for majority of his life and got the opportunity there, I believe, at Ole Miss. And so I was very thankful to him, because I think he's one of the guys, there's about 3 or 4 of them, but one of the guys that started opportunities for non-coordinators to be head coaches.
Hutch?
Yeah, Sam, you've talked in the past about Burks trying to get him like 10 touches a game. I think he only had 5 against Florida. Were they doing something in particular to take him away, or what happened there?
No, I don't believe so. I think we've got to target him more. He's got to become a better practice player. He's got to, there's some things that he can do as well to make sure that we get him the ball more. He can run better routes, those things. This is not being negative towards him whatsoever. I think, hand in hand, you have to call plays to get him the football, and then he's got to work to get open and things. They weren't doing anything different than anybody else has.
Tom?
Jalen Catalon had a couple of big hits in that game, and we've seen that through the course of this season. The value of having a safety who makes guys think twice about going over the middle. Just what have you thought of Jalen's year and his impact as a big hitter?
Well, I really didn't know much about anybody on the team when the season started. Certainly didn't have any chance to see him hit anybody. But to me, he's the key to our defense, and we're so fortunate that he's young. He's a freshman, but in mentality, he's a senior. He's very, very smart on the field and in the classroom. So is his brother, but he's just real valuable to us. He's got that calm demeanor about him, and that kind of that silent assassin type about his personality, and he will hit you. And I think there's different games this year where I think he set the tone about what's going to go on out there, and I think it's helped us.
Trey Biddy?
Coach, I had a question about Devon Bush. What's the status update with him? We haven't seen him a whole lot this season.
He's fine. He's battling a little bit of a shoulder injury, but he's fine. It's just, that injury's probably kept him off the field more than what a regular season would be if he wasn't injured.
Bob?
Sam, I was wondering what point of your career did you start putting together a list of guys you'd want to get on a staff if you could be a head coach? Do you remember maybe about when that was?
Yeah, I think it's the day after Coach Morris was let go. I think it's when I started trying to figure out who I would want on the staff.
Well, no, I mean, hypothetically, you're 40 or whatever, 38, I don't know. You start, I just wondered about if there was a.
No, Bob, to be honest with you, there was a point in time in my career when I just said, hey, I've been very blessed. I'm the O-line coach, as associate head coach at Georgia. I'm making a lot of money, and this is what the Lord wants for me. And I was thankful for that. And I mean, I had a great job, but so I had kind of made, I was getting older, and I'd kind of made up my mind that I need to try to be the best offensive line coach in the country, and I need to be very thankful for the job that I have. And then Arkansas came along. So, I've known coaches. I've been to 100 million schools, so I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of coaches. And so that wasn't a problem, that wasn't a problem of getting names. And I'm glad that they thought enough of me to come here to Arkansas with me. I didn't have to go down lengthy in the list because most of the guys I asked decided to come. They were, the top guys on the list. They decided they were able to come be with us at Arkansas.
Last one, Hutch.
Yeah, Sam, I don't know if I saw Hayden Henry much on defense. Is he healthy? And then also Andrew Parker played probably more than he has all year. What did you think of the way he did? Is that just a matter of him earning more snaps?
Well, I think we went into the game. We have meetings on Saturday morning about how we're going to play the players, and most of the time it kind of goes exactly how we say. Obviously, injuries play a big part in that as well. But Hayden got beat. He got dinged up a little bit, and that allowed Parker to get a few more snaps. And obviously, with the way the game was going, we wanted him to get in there and get some quality game time. He played well, and I think Hayden will be fine, and he'll be able to get back here on Saturday.
All right, that wraps us up. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
Good to see y'all.
Thanks, Sam. Same here.
Be the last lamp in this. When's the next time we get together?
Thursday.
Yeah, that thing will be gone. See y'all. Have a good one. Stay safe.